Can victims influence criminal plea agreements? Have you ever wondered how much say victims have in the outcome of criminal cases? Today, we are going to discuss whether victims can influence criminal plea agreements. This is an important topic in the realm of criminal justice and plea bargaining. Victims can indeed have an impact on plea agreements, but their influence is often indirect and varies depending on where the case is being handled. One of the primary ways victims can express their views is through victim impact statements. These statements describe the harm and consequences caused by the crime. Victims can present these statements in writing or orally, and they are typically shared during sentencing. However, they can also play a role in plea negotiations. The purpose of these statements is to inform prosecutors, judges, and sometimes defense attorneys about the victim's perspective. By sharing their experiences, victims can encourage harsher penalties or influence the terms of a plea deal. For example, if a victim expresses strong feelings about the crime, it may lead prosecutors to reconsider the severity of the charges or the recommended sentence. Prosecutors often consult with victims before proposing a plea agreement. This consultation is crucial because it helps ensure that the victim's concerns are taken into account. When victims are involved in this process, it can increase the likelihood that the plea deal will be accepted by the judge and seen as fair by everyone involved. However, it is important to note that victims do not have the legal authority to accept or reject plea agreements. That power lies with the prosecution and the court. In some states, prosecutors are required to notify victims about plea deals and consider their objections. But this does not guarantee that changes will be made to the agreement. Defense attorneys also need to be aware of the victim's role during plea negotiations. They must be prepared to address victim impact statements and any concerns raised by the victim. Understanding how victim input can influence the prosecution's strategy is essential for defense counsel to negotiate effectively. In summary, victims can influence plea agreements mainly through their impact statements and discussions with prosecutors. While their input can affect the terms and acceptance of plea deals, their influence is more advisory than decisive. The final decision always rests with the prosecution and the court. Defense strategies must take this dynamic into account to navigate the plea bargaining process successfully.